There's a real total collapse of the media. A real total collapse of what should be called the global society or the globe unity society or the good society. What the New World Order actually is basically nothing but an illusion, nothing but a narrative. And nothing but kind of like an aphorism that is expressed as self-hatred. I used to be on a media on the computer to where I was prominent in media. Basically called ultra-modern hard-style media. On my internet, I cannot find these videos other than the videos I put out myself. And it was usually stuff on a colleague that I've known for many years, who's an alpha male, who was called a Class A alpha male, and I cannot find that at all. Then there's usually stuff that is considered private on the dark web that is usually a lot more mainstream, with someone like Vox State, who's another associate of mine, who's a Sigma male. It usually depends on what kind of illegal dark web that you're on as to whether or not you're really that important or not. If you're someone that is, if you loosely describe yourself as basically this or that kind of character, and it turns out that you're a gamma male. Or if you portray yourself as a serious hard academic, you're basically a theta male. Or if you're a guy that is usually kind of like a guy that finds insanity, it's basically an expression of being a zeta male. Usually kind of depends on what kind of neurosis you got. And it's usually individualized. It's expressed basically as different forms of permaculture. Like a guy like me, usually I refrain from talking about myself, where I'm from. Usually because of the fact that I tend to very heavily get it wrong. Like with even something like Uzbekistan, that's actually half right. In reality, I have to take it at face value that I come from a number of different cross-cultural societies, usually cross-religious societies, usually found in Central Asia. And it turns out I have to take that at face value. Like, I'm a Mercury planet in my birth chart. Therefore, that basically means that I'm a very vague and loosely defined Central Asian Altaic. It can usually mean like eastward Italic or eastward Italian. But then again, it can also mean that a guy like me, who's basically a loosely defined Scythian, usually finds myself dealing with the question of Iran a lot more. And it turns out that tends to be an illusion that is like more than half wrong. Instead, what I find out is that I'm basically an Altaic, except I'm Italian. I think I'm Sogdian, and actually I'm Scythian. Some people think I'm like some form of Persian. I can spell it out for you. Italo-Persian or Altaic Persian. In my case, as basically a Caucasian Altaic man myself. And usually that basically means that a guy like me has to find myself very heavily separating from those cultures in Central Asia that basically proved for me to be rather demonstrably chaotic for me in a whole new can of worms. But it's like some people say I should be a higher being. A guy like me is already an advanced soul to where I can't be a higher being. Therefore, what do I find myself entrenched in? Well, that's for me up to you to decide, Finn.